Morning everybody. So today I'm going to finish my wall up. It has to be sheathed. Last night when I was still working, I did double check to make sure it is square. So I measured from this corner here over to that corner, and then I measured from the far corner there all the way up to here. I had to put a mark actually, and it's like dead on. I mean, I'm not even a 16th off. Or maybe I'm a 16th off just for a hair here and there, but I mean it is dead on. So I was pretty impressed by that. So that's good. For all of you people who don't know, all you have to do is pull up your calculator, and you want to take the length squared plus the height or the other distance squared. And then whatever that amount is, whatever that amount equals, take the square root of that, and you will then be able to figure out what the diagonal length is. And all your phone calculators, by the way, will do it. You might need to turn your phone sideways. So we're gonna get this all tacked up. Again, it's all square, so I can just finish nailing off my rafter, and I can sheet it, cut out for my window, and I'll be able to stand it up. I won't be able to do this by myself, so I got to break out my gin pole that I made. So stick around. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoy what you see, give us a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and again, feel free to put any comments down below and I'll happily respond to them as soon as I can. You guys have a fantastic day. All right, got everything nailed off. Had my rafter cut for my top plate that's going to go to this other wall. My sheeting's going to go all the way over the edge, so it's going to overlap down. And I can go a foot, but I think I'm going to go 10.5 inches, so that'll give me 1.5 inches at the bottom, so that I could put a drip edge, some pressure treated something down there for later on. I haven't figured that out yet, but I want to give myself that option to be able to do that pretty safely and easily. So I just need to measure up on my wall, snap a line so I can make sure my sheet goods are running straight. And I did buy a router bit so I can route out things for the window and some of these edges, just because it will be easier in the long run for me to do. I'm going to see how I like it, and if it makes too much of a mess, I might need to go back to just cutting it with a saw. So stay tuned. You know, I don't know if I said, I like this gun. I hate refilling it so much. It is pretty annoying with this plastic collated that they're spaced so far apart. I know that's partly because of the full head, but it's like, it does take a lot of time to reload this. Or I shouldn't say time to reload it. It takes a lot of reloading to get these sheets down. The second thing is I feel like it's a little heavy, which is not that big of a deal. I like the bump trigger on it, but I do wish it had a rafter hook. I knew it didn't have a rafter hook when I bought it. I'm just saying that, you know, that is kind of nice to have because my other one does. All right, I got my first sheet down, first two sheets down, 1 and 2. That obviously get cut off. My problem now is I'm running into, I got a big hole for my window, and I don't want to have funny pieces. In other words, if I start, kind of hard to see this, but normally you'd want to stagger joints, right? So if I start 4 feet in here, run across, I would end on this one, and then I'd have a funny little piece here, which I'm not, you know, that's not ideal to me. And I could start on this side and run that way. Of course, that would work too, which would give me a stagger on the other end. So I got to figure out what I'm going to do and how I want to best use my material. All right, I got that all nailed up. One thing I will say is about that nail gun, which I didn't mention earlier, is that it is hard to get it to consistently drive nails at the same depth. And I thought I had it adjusted well, and then I was driving nails really deep. So then I adjusted it back, and now I'm having to hit them in. So, you know, they're okay. Hey there. So we are about to lift our wall. Margaret and I have our gin pole set up. Finally, we decided to go with something easier to deal with. So I just built this out of some 2x6s, and I've got my wall chained up. Got some shackles on it. Shackles and bolts are rated at least 1,200 pounds or higher. The hoist is 2 ton, so that's not a non-issue, and it doesn't weigh that much. So here we go. Let's see if we can lift this wall. All right, she's up. First wall is standing. Took a lot of work and a lot of time, but it's standing up and it's plumb. It's well braced. We're gonna leave the gin pole here with a chain on it so it doesn't blow over for some bizarre reason. So it can't come back down and it can't go out. And then once I get this wall built and I get my little pony on the far side built, that'll give it some support and we'll be good. So another successful day. Hey, real quick, I wanted to go over a couple of things related to our gin pole and some mistakes we made during the lift, which you probably didn't notice, or maybe you did, but I did want to talk about them. First off, we'll talk about some of the hardware we have. These bolts are rated at 1,200 pounds each. This buckle is rated at 2,000 pounds. My chain is rated at who knows what it is. The chain hoist is rated at 2,000 pounds. And the problem that happened was that I had a pick point down here, and I should have had another pick point pretty much straight across over here, but instead I put it at the peak. And the reason I put it at the peak up here was because I had access to that space. So when I build these other walls, I'm going to actually put these bolts in and put the chain down in advance so that I don't have to worry about trying to get it where it belongs later on. The second problem that I had, and again, it was okay given the fact that this wall is not really that heavy in the grand scheme of things compared to my hardware, but what I should have had is, with my pick points, you want your chain or your whatever it's called that's holding it up, basically, that you're lifting from, you need that to have the two pick points need to be at 45-degree angles. All right, and I was basically kind of sort of straight across. and that's not ideal because you don't have the strength of your equipment. And it was okay because we were using this really heavy duty chain, but that's not how it should be. So my pick points are going to be much lower, and the chain's going to go up, or whatever I'm going to use, and then back down at a 45-degree angle so that it will be much safer and more correct. It'll also allow us to lift it much higher. So that was another problem that we were running into, where, as you saw, we were just trying to push this wall up, and it was a lot of work going back and forth, but we got it up. Anyway, so those are the couple of problems with where I was picking from. My gin pole that you didn't see us build, but we did put together the one that we had tried to make from poplar, but it was just way too big and heavy, and I thought it would be fun to do it that way, but fun is not always convenient, easy, or accurate. So everything else is the same. Basically, we just have a chain tied up to the very peak of it. There's a separate chain for the hoist. This is actually all pulling together, wrapped around the top quite a few times. And then this is on a pulley system. Sorry, not a pulley system. This is on a hand winch. And the winch is rated at 1,000 pounds, 2,000 pounds, depending upon how you hook it up. And of course, this wall does not weigh 1,000 pounds, so we were not worried about it. Plus, most of the weight is pulling down, not, you know, tension this way. Anyway, that's the story of what we did, and hopefully, if that makes sense, it might be useful for somebody. And if you have any questions, of course, please do not hesitate to put some comments down below. So thanks again. Talk to you guys soon.